Hey everyone, my name is Alan, and if you're new to the channel, I started a business back in January of 2025 where I began reselling trading cards online. Between eBay and TCG Player, I have over 1,000 sales and I make a little over $1,000 a month. And I'm a firm believer that to help others down the path that you've walked, you just have to be a few steps ahead of them. So my goal for today's video is to help demystify what it would actually cost you to begin selling your own trading cards and break it down by the cost of goods to actually get them out the door, the cost of your shipping supplies, because honestly, that's where the big wins happen. When you compound over time, getting the cost of your shipping supplies down, it will actually help you be more profitable. But at the same time, you've just got to get started. So I'm going to break it down into 3 different levels. When I tell people what I've been able to accomplish, especially face to face, or tell my family or friends, they're often shocked about what I'm actually doing. And I must tell you, I'm not special. It's nothing I'm doing is too terribly exciting. It's just being consistent in all the different practices and the things that I've learned. And I'm going to use my business degree and just my ability to crunch numbers and help save you time so you don't have to go out and do the same thing. I even put on a collared shirt today because I have a slide deck and I feel very businesslike with my business degree coming to you and sharing these things. But I just want you to be able to really count the cost and get started, because it doesn't cost as much as you think. One thing to note too, I'm going to take my notes down here, is that it is September of 2025. So all the costs that I'm going to share with you today are based kind of in this time frame. They're also all based in United States dollars, USD. I'm assuming the conversion rate across the world would be similar as far as what the true cost would be. If you live in another country, I know I've already had some people from other countries comment on my videos. Let me know how it compares and how these break down for you as well. But again, I'm using Amazon as the source of all of my numbers as I kind of get going here. One thing I do want to share with you very quickly, you can see here, this is my TCG Player landing page, my Flip House Finds account, and you can see that I have 973 sales here and 100% positive reviews. So I do come with some credibility. I've done a lot of sales. In fact, I have a stack of stack of envelopes right here that I've got to get mailed out as soon as I'm done recording this video. Those are a dozen sales that came in last night. And if I can do it, a 49-year-old balding guy with gray hair, you can do it too. I believe that there's nothing special, but I want to teach you what I've learned so that I can save you time, save you from mistakes. All right, so let's jump right into the slide deck. Okay, 3 ways to start selling cards, and this is going to be with the assumption that you already own some cards. And some of the initial numbers will be with the assumption that you already have top loaders and penny sleeves, because you're probably an avid collector. If not, certainly you need to budget in some money with going out and buying collections. I started with no collection. I started with no cards, so I had to build that into my price when I got started. But this is assuming that you have some cards, you have penny sleeves, you have some top loaders. If you have those things, here's how you can get started. So level 1 I call scrappy. You just want to get scrappy. And so when I first started selling on eBay, this is the envelope that I got. It's a 4x6 envelope. I looked up the actual price of it last night, and it's $9 for 100 of these. So obviously that comes to 9 cents per envelope. Let's say that you wanted to go ahead and do TCG Player level 1 to level 4. That's about 50 to 51. I think the actual number is 51 sales. I was able to do that in 3 weeks. I believe you can probably do it even faster, but it would take probably about 2 weeks if you sold 50 cards today. But let's go ahead and get you 50 United States Postal Service stamps. Those come in at 78 cents a piece. So for 50 of them, it would be $39. And let's get you a cheap roll of painter's tape. Painter's tape is the way to go. You can get painter's tape depending on the length and the width and the size, but let's say it's about $2. So the total cost for you to get started selling the cards that you already have with the top loaders and sleeves that you already have is just $50. That's the cost of a slab or a graded card. That's the cost of a solid single that's raw. That's the cost that you would maybe spend to go get some groceries or something like that. Can you sacrifice $50 to start reselling today and start down that path? And so what that comes to is, with those costs in mind, already have top loaders, you already have penny sleeves, you don't have a printer, you're going to get scrappy. You're going to actually write the person's address by hand on the envelope and your return address on the envelope. So you have no printer, You have top loaders and sleeves. You already have cards. $50 will get you started. And that comes to a shipping cost of about 87 cents per card, or per order, I would say, not per card, up to an ounce. But if you need top loaders and sleeves, there's a deal I found on Amazon last night that's 100 top loaders and 100 penny sleeves for $10. And so that comes to about 12 cents for a top loader and penny sleeve per order. So that would cost you 99 cents per card up to an ounce that you would ship out. So you could actually get up to probably 4 or 5 cards out in that one order. So that's level one, $50. Barrier of entry. You're scrappy. You're writing on the envelope. You don't have a printer. You're going to get after it. Get started for $50. Now let's go to the next level, which I kind of call a balanced approach to get started. Let's say that you do have a printer and you still have cards and top loaders and sleeves already. You're going to buy 100 windowed envelopes. And so this is like your Amazon Basics windowed envelope. It has the thing on the back so you don't have to lick each of them, which is fantastic. If you're selling on tcgplayer.com, this windowed envelope, if you watch my other video on how to pack cards, you can see how I fold the invoice or the order from TCG Player, and that appears right there. Saves a ton of time. But let's say you're getting those Windows envelopes, you're getting a roll of painter's tape, and I put a range here because you certainly don't need to buy 100 stamps right off the bat, but if you have 100 cards to list, you may need 100 stamps. So this balance level would be anywhere from $52 to get started if you buy 50 stamps to $91 if you buy 100 stamps. I'd encourage you to get 100, but I don't work for the Postal Service, so I'm not making anything from this. But yeah, believe in yourself and get those things. So with that, it comes to 89 cents an order because of the windowed envelope, the convenience of that, and the self-adhesion on the top. But if you also need to buy top loaders and sleeves, it comes to about 12 cents per order, per envelope. It comes to $1 and a penny. $1.01 with top loaders and sleeves if you also need to purchase those. So not much more expensive than the scrappy level, but certainly a little bit more balanced. You're leaning into being able to have a printer to print off your invoices and get those out the door. And then on the third level, this is the one that I call the bet on yourself level. This is where I'm committed. I'm going to get started. I'm going to commit to do this for the next 6 months and see where it takes me, or the next year. And you want to really get after it, and you want to lower the cost of your shipping as low as you can. You're going to buy a 500 box of 500 windowed envelopes. Again, that's what I do. This is the Amazon Basics windowed envelopes, right? And what you're going to do there is you're going to also buy some painter's tape. You're going to get 100 stamps because you're like, I'm betting on myself. I need 100 stamps. You don't need to go ahead and buy 500 stamps right off the bat because as money comes into your account, you'll be able to then go and buy more stamps. So I'm not saying that you need to start, with 500 stamps right off the bat, because that takes money away from you for either purchasing cards or that you can invest elsewhere in your business. But let's go ahead and start with 100 stamps. So that would cost you $108. 500 envelopes, a roll of painter's tape, which should last you through 500 orders, and 100 stamps to get you started, $108. But let's say that you also needed to get 500 top loaders and penny sleeves, and that's going to come in around $50. And again, there's no tax on any of this stuff. I'm just kind of using ballpark figures. That would be around $158 to get you everything you need, minus the additional 400 stamps to get you started. And so I think that's a great way to get started. Now, if you want to elevate, if you look at my reviews on my page, one of the things that you'll see there often is the mention of the shipping shields that I use. These, when bought at quantity, which I'll go over here in a moment, come in a little less expensive than top loaders and penny sleeves, especially when you use my discount code that gets you 10% off your order. These protect the cards. I can get 10 cards in one penny sleeve and 10 cards in one of these. And that comes in, maybe I have to put an extra ounce stamp on the envelope, but this protects them all the way there and all the way back. And as you saw a few moments ago on my reviews, people are very happy when they receive the cards. So if you use my 10% discount code, and this is not a trick to trick you into buying the cards, I'm just letting you know the options that are out there. If you were to buy 500 shipping shields, that would come in with my discount code at $47. So that would actually be $155 to get everything else above with shipping shields versus top loaders and sleeves. So with that, your cost per order comes down to 84 cents an order because you're buying those envelopes in bulk. You're buying 500 envelopes. If you need to purchase top loaders and sleeves, it's going to come at 96 cents an order. And if you're using shipping shields, but you still need sleeves, it'll come in at 95 cents an order. Obviously, if you don't need sleeves, it would come in at 93 cents an order if you're using shipping shields and all the other things there. And again, that's the price with my discount code, 10% off, Flip House Finds. You can find that there. And so I just really wanted to take away all of the mystery and all of the research that you might have to do to get started. One of the things that was really helpful to me is when I got started, I've told my story in another video. You can go watch the very first video on my channel where I talk about a friend that I happenstance. Anyway, we stumbled across one another online. And I had just picked up my first purchase of Pokemon cards, and he was already making six figures a year selling Pokemon cards online. And he really held my hand and walked me through that. And that's what I want to do with you through these videos, is really help you along the way. And so if you want to find out all the things about me, all the socials, follow me on Instagram. You can go right down below in the description. You can see all of those links. You can go to fliphousefinds.com. You can also find those there. I do have a giveaway going on one of my previous videos, so go check that out. I talk about storage hacks, and there's a giveaway there. Once I hit 250 subscribers on the channel, you'll have a chance to win a card. But thanks for being here today. If you found this information useful, would you please subscribe and like and let me know what was the most useful information about it? But I'm cheering for you. I'm rooting you on. I want you to really take that next step, to really take a chance on yourself, to bet on yourself, because sometimes the world just won't do that for you. And so I believe you can do it. For just $50, you could get started right now, today. So you could go to tcgplayer.com, get started. You could go to eBay, wherever you want to sell. Get those envelopes, get the supplies that you need, and get some cards going to people around the world, make some money, and who knows, you might find friends and relationships and a way to make some extra cash for you and your family. But thanks for being here today, guys. This is Flip House Finds. I really, really appreciate your eyes on this video. If it was helpful in any way, let me know downstairs. My name is Alan, and I'll catch you in the next video.